All right, so we're here in Arizona, back in Arizona, and between Flagstaff and Williams. And we're at the base of a mountain called Sitgreaves Mountain. It's named after a gentleman called Captain Sitgreaves, who built a railroad system from Flagstaff to Williams, which I'm not actually sure if it still exists or not, but they ended up naming this mountain after him. So we're here to climb it, and we're essentially here in the middle of nowhere. I know that you see a road, but it's definitely a four-wheel drive road to get out here, and we really haven't seen anyone except for one truck on the main road out there. But basically, it's very quiet. No one's out here, and we're about to hike this mountain. This is a large mountain that you can see off the 40 on the way out from Williams to Flagstaff. And as they say in the reports, that many people they see the mountain off the 40, but no one really comes out to hike it, because many people are on their way out to Flagstaff and hit those larger peaks out there. But we're gonna do it today. We're right now currently at about 7,600 feet, and we have to get up to 9,300 feet. It's now the 12th of November, and so as you see, we're bundled up, and it's a little chilly already, even at the start. So by the time we get up to about 9,300 feet, it's going to be pretty chilly. And this is probably the last weekend window that we're going to have to get to the top, because we are expecting snowstorms later the next week, and this area will be covered in snow. So, and they do recommend doing this not in the snow because it's so steep, which brings me to the point that this really isn't a very long hike necessarily. As the crow flies, it's only about 1.15 miles, but it's going to require about 1,600 to 1,700 gain. They do recommend bringing a hiking pole or two to use. We do have the hiking poles. I did bring one for myself. I'm not sure if I'm going to use it or not. And as you see, she's bringing them out here. And as far as it being there, as far as there being a trail or not, that is questionable, because I've read a couple places where say that there's a trail going up the ridge, because basically this is a ridge hike. And then there's others saying that it's basically just cross country up the ridge, up to the top, where essentially there's like 2 or 3 false peaks on the way up. So there's a lot going on in a short distance, but at the end of the day, I have no idea what we're getting ourselves into, as usual, and we won't know until we get going. So let's go ahead and do that and make our way up to Sitgreaves Mountain. about a half mile up the trail already, and you might have seen it in the footage where there is a trail. It was maybe 100 feet up from where the Jeep was. We bumped right into the trail, and we've just been on it ever since, and we can see it up ahead. I don't believe that's it. I did read that there's 3 false peaks on the way up, and I have a feeling that's probably number 1. And other than that, it's actually quite nice. Very steep in the beginning, but it's starting to chill out a little bit, but I think it's going to get steep again pretty soon. So it's very calm, by the way. I thought it was going to be a lot more windy, but there's no wind at all. But so very comfortable. I've already shed my jacket, left it down on a tree down there, because not expecting anyone else to be up here today. This is a pretty rare peak, and the chances are that we're not going to see anyone, which is pretty cool. So onward we go. We're still making our way up this very steep part of the mountain, which makes sense because there's a lot of gain in a very short amount of time. We're only about 0.77 up so far, and as the crow flies, it's maybe another 0.8, so almost about halfway there. But yeah, it's very steep. Very, very happy we brought the poles. We never hike with poles, and the fact that we're happy we brought them says a lot of how steep that this really is. As far as people saying that you shouldn't do it in the snow, I think it might actually be easier in the snow if you can get out to the base, if it's not too deep. If this was like packed snow or ice and you had crampons, you'd probably be getting up you'd probably get up faster, because it is slippery. It's this stuff is very, very what do you call it? Very slick, and a lot of just little rocks, which is going to make it a good time on the way down. To be honest, this is going to be fast because we're just going to slide pretty much all the way down, and we have our poles to control ourselves. So, but anyway, that's it. We're going to keep making our way up the trail here and get up to the summit. right, we've made it. She's already eating. We made it to the summit of Sitgreaves Mountain here in between Flagstaff and Williams, Arizona. Wow, did you see that approach? Look at this beautiful yellow all the way around. Look at these views, just all of Williams over here. That peak over there is Bill Williams Peak. We actually did that in the snow when we first moved to Arizona. We do have a video on that as well. But look at this. It's like no wind, nothing. It's so calm. You can just hear yourself breathing. That's it. It's just so calm, peaceful. Maybe every once in a while you hear a chirp from a bird. But other than that, it is very, very still here at 9,354 feet in the beginning of November. I'm out here in a t-shirt now. I had layers. I'm down to my third layer. After this, I'm going shirtless. It's perfect. It's absolutely phenomenal up here. I think more people should do this peak. People say it's a very rare peak. Not many people do it, but this was the day to do it. Wow, this is just really, really a great treat. I thought we would see more of Flagstaff from here in the mountains out there, but I don't see any. I think we're looking in the wrong direction. We got this here blocking it. Might be able to see it from up above in the drone. But other than that, yeah, I mean, can't ask for a better day. We made it. It was steep the whole way. It was just relentless. I don't know. Let me look real quick. I have, for distance, 1.8 miles to the summit here. So it was not very far, but it was very steep. And I'm very happy again that we brought the poles with us. But on the way down, we're going to be screening it all the way down, probably be down in less than a half hour. I mean, it's just going to go fast, and we'll be down in no time. So, but before all that, we're going to enjoy our time out here, just walking through the meadows and just enjoying this beautiful November weather. And then we're just going to head back down to the Jeep. Quick update on the way down. So we kind of went off track by about a quarter mile. We were following a ridge on the way down. We were chatting away, thinking that everything was all good. And for the first bit, I did check the GPS, and we were on track. But I did notice that there is a quick turn to the right on the way down. And unfortunately, because we were talking and we were on a ridge, when that part turned, we kept on going straight. And when we kept on going straight, the other ridge that we were supposed to be on started doglegging to the right. So it was going away from us. So literally within less than 10 minutes, we were just over a quarter mile away from the trail. So we had to backtrack and just basically go along the side of the mountain to get back on this ridge that we're currently on now, which is the correct ridge. Just a little lesson. I mean, if we did not have our GPS with us, I mean, we would have ended up literally on the other side of the mountain. So whenever you do hikes like this where there's really no trail, the trail kind of comes and go, but we're basically out in the wilderness following up a ridge. It's it's very easy to get lost out here without even knowing it until it may be too late. Luckily, we caught it, and it was a bit of work to be hiking along the side of the mountain to get back on the correct ridge, but you know, just word of advice, it's usually not a good idea to not hike without a GPS when you're basically hiking in the wilderness without any main trails. All right, made it back to the Jeep here. Wow, that was a doozy. I tell you, the final numbers for that one was 3.9 miles with 1,722 gain. Now, the thing is, you gotta remember, we went off track for a little bit there. So technically, this hike was probably around 3.2, 3.3, but the elevation gain would have stayed the same because, you know, we only kind of went down or across. We didn't go up anymore. So when you kind of, you know, when you figure that out, that's like 1,000 feet a mile, which makes sense, right? I mean, it was just steep most of like all the way. And so, and it was probably steeper even than that at some points because there was a couple saddles where it did kind of calm down for a short bit. So for sure, a very steep hike. Totally recommend coming out and doing it if you can get out to this trailhead. That's like you know, that's the first thing is getting out to this trailhead. The next is getting up to the top, just following the ridge, which was easy because that's all you had to do was follow the ridge right to the top. However, on the way down, there's apparently a lot of different ridges and they all look the same. So it's a real good idea to have a GPS so that way you follow the correct ridge all the way down and then back to the trailhead. So, but awesome hike. Very short, but has a hell of a punch to it. So if you're looking for something that's challenging and not super long, but with a good punch to it, this is your peak right here. I gotta tell you. So with that being said, hope to see you on the next hike, and we'll see you soon.